安，为什么我的聊天室跑不出来？我的聊天室呢？我的聊天室坏掉了。真的假的？安，我以为我聊天室坏掉了。你好吗？我好啊。看新的那个都是新的，我不知道哪个，但全部都是新的。没错，新的画面。但是我原本要用那个图，就是那张那个 offline 的那张图，但是因为它是白色的，然后我觉得白色的有点太亮，所以我就把它改成灰的。但我觉得那个图比较好看，但是它太亮。你好吗？你还好吗？哦，最近天气又突然变得很热了。你可以改背景，好啊，你要帮我改吗？你帮我改成类似这样子的颜色，就是暗一点的颜色，因为我不喜欢太亮，我见光死。好点了，好点了就好。我不喜欢太亮。你有什么事要说吗？啊，今天我爸跑来我房间，然后他就指着我的麦克风说：“啊，你这灯怎么长这样？”我就说：“什么灯？你这是麦克风啦！”好好笑哦。等一下哦，我的麦克风长这样子啊，哪里像灯了？奇怪。用手机传讯息比较累，对，手机延迟会比较高一点。他还没看过，还没有，因为他没有就是走进我房间，然后仔细看我的书桌。然后我妈在旁边就说：“的比我还烂。”就是说我都还知道那是麦克风。好好笑哦，什么灯啊？你才灯嘞！哎，好啦，那我们就继续来把那个游戏玩完。我有点想换游戏了，所以我现在要赶快把它玩完。现在有一点缺乏耐性。 尤其他又有很多字要看。他们有没有问你怎么那么快就回家？没有可能是因为我也只有跟他们说我要出去吃饭，他们可能就想说哦，那就是吃个饭而已吧，我也不知道，但他们没有问。最近好像很多，不是很多，应该说Twitch好像直接就是不允许实况主放那种有版权的音乐了。然后像我现在不是就是会像现在聊天，然后就会放音乐嘛。然后我那天把那个 VOD 要上传到 YouTube 的时候，他有跟我说，就是有一首歌是有版权的，但他没有要我怎样啊，他只是告诉我有版权这样，然后我没有办法盈利，反正我也没有要开盈利的意思，不是，应该说是我还不能开盈利，所以我就先不管它了。然后我就想说，最近Twitch好像也都就是有这个版权的问题，所以我不知道我现在放这个音乐会不会有版权问题，但是它就是一个标榜，就是你直播的时候可以放的音乐，所以我想应该还好吧。我妹回家还不知道我在家，真的所以她是一进房间，然后看到你在家，还被吓到那种啊，好好笑哦。好啦，那我要继续来玩了。今天好像也没有什么事情好做啊，每次都没有什么事好做。被吓到还大叫。你坐在家里怎么有别人？家里怎么有别人？你才不是我姐。这礼拜也没事可以说。这礼拜吗？不是哦，有时候就是会想到一些事可以说，但是就是然后像现在这个开台的当下，又想不起来要讲什么东西。啊，我突然想起来，我昨天好像梦到一个很白痴的梦，就是呢，就是我不是都会看那个韩国姐姐台吗？然后我昨天就梦到，我不知道为什么会突然认识她，然后就在就是可能就跟她讲话吧，然后可是是有点像是网络上的通话那样子讲话，然后讲一讲，他就直接，我不知道是断线还是直接离开怎样，然后但后来不知道为什么我发现他会直接消失，是因为他觉得我英文太烂了，所以他就不想跟我讲话了。哦，没事，这个梦实在是太荒谬了。唉，Billy，没错，Billy。没有，这个梦完全没有 Billy 这个成分，只是就他就是觉得我的英文太烂，然后他就不想跟我讲话了，so sad。好啦。 怎么打不开？糟糕了，我的电脑要坏掉了。你看，你看，你看我的那个，就是下面这东西，它开始变慢了。哎呦，我的电脑跑不动了，糟糕了。跑不动了，惨了，要跑不动了，它打不开了。Billy，他是跳掉了吗？看，发生什么事了？我找不到我的游标。糟了，糟了，糟了！看，连这种游戏都可以打不开，那我们以后如果要玩更更吃效能的游戏，不就惨着？游戏截取欸。有声音啊，会不会太大声？有没有画面？有了，好，很好。哎，那我还想要玩刺客教条，先换电脑再说吧。你看它真的变得很慢。你看哦，你看，你看那个光，然后等下会有一个这样跑。你看它变超慢了，然后它要转了，要转了。我还没试，快点啊！它好慢哦，它坏掉了。你看它变得慢很慢。好了，不管了。咚！今天虽然没有前2天那么热，但还是有点热。游戏声音会不会太大声？这样子有亏吗？我们上次玩到哪？我已经忘了。糟糕了，糟糕了，糟糕了，他累格了。差一个东西。他累格了。看一下能关的东西关一关。还行，还行，好，还行。还是我把那个，我游戏重开好了。 电脑太烂了啦，还是我开什么东西？耶！好吧，算了，不管了。Oh no！ 问完了，问完了，下面一位，糟糕啦！菲菲，菲菲，你看，你看，你看，糟糕了，糟糕了。
Name: Flora Fellow. Age: 44. Profession: unknown. Likes: unknown. Dislikes: unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
她是她妈哦。
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond. Name: Felix Fellow. Age: 53. Profession: none. Likes: collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value.
今天这样子
Dislikes:
第一眼。
the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes: Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No? Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct. Name: Fiona Fellow. Age: 19. Profession: amateur microbiologist. Likes: the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes: the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes:
Window
kindly
dressing.
disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent. Name: Haksha. Age: unknown. Profession: private detective. Likes: quote, being left alone. Dislikes: quote, being constantly badgered by a weirdo nerd with a clipboard. Name: Freya Fellow. Age: 19. Profession: artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became 1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
所以 Freya 感觉发生什么事了？
Name, Fitzfellow. Age, 24. Profession, cryptobotanist. Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on. Cryptobotanist? I thought he was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. He's well over 6 foot and you've got to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem with him?
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a knife.
Ding!
Name, Percival Pointer. Age, 57. Profession, none.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me. Name, Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her. Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, oh. Apparently, Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
然后这个
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her. I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell.
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene.
Apart from the one in the painting.
Which, as a mere abstract representation, does not count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife. The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are?
This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette tapes.
What happened to it, though?
It has been left underwater for an extended period of time.
Right. But why?
I do not know why. Curious. The red paint on the brush is not paint. It is blood. Same for the palette.
So Freya added the blood to the painting herself?
Or blood got on the brush and palette some other way?
I do not know the answer.
到底为什么会有血啊？
Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody knife. I told her not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from looking at it once?
Of course.
竖琴上的长得好像 floppy 是什么 ？floppy 是什么 ？floppy 是什么 ？floppy？
The gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Is she laughing? Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood, not paint.
A whole pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
什么
Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak you out?
No. In fact, it may be considered rather reassuring.
什么 floppy 是什么？
That belongs to my mother. I think she must be
这
fond
东
of
西它
eggs.
是不是叫
There
这
are a
名
number
字？
of
谁啊？
egg-shaped carvings to be found in the garden and in the grand hall.
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs.
谁啊 ？floppy 是什么？floppy 啊，中软的。等一下，为什么我找到一堆那个啊磁片？那叫什么磁碟片？上个游戏的神奇生活哦，它叫你说这个游戏的前作吗？你说那个沼泽怪吗？它叫 Buggy 啦，人家叫 Buggy。我找 Floppy， 然后找到一堆超久以前的东西，来给大家看一下。现在的年轻人不是讲的好像我自己有多老一样。现在的年轻人知道这是什么东西吗？我又没有视窗攫取。你看，这东西叫什么忘了？台湾做磁片，就是它是这种磁碟片吗？小时候还有在家里看过，现在已经都没有了。可能现在的小朋友也不知道这是什么东西了。你说的那个是这个吧？好，算了，我找不到，不管，拜拜。找不到。对啊 ，Buggy 它就 Buggy。
It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard.
我刚刚一开始还以为你说
And a little red
Floppy，
creature.
你在说那
What
个
would my father
我
make
英
a
雄
model
学院
of
里面那
Freya?
只青蛙，因为它的
A wooden carving of my
它的
father,
英雄名是不是就叫
my
做
father.
Floppy 啊，
Although,
还
now
是什
that
么
I
的？
look at it, I do not understand how he was able
Floppy.
to paint the red parts without any
Floppy.
red paint. I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any
Floppy
idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever.
啊，这次我有点不太知道凶手是谁。
This photograph.
我觉得 没
It's
有
my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
就感觉大家都没有什么动机啊，就是只是一切都很怪，然后还不太知道到底发生什么事的感觉。
There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time. A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
好可爱，他刚刚那个脸好可爱啊。
This belongs to Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It can only be used for looking at things that are far away. The fruit here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely pointless. Unless you wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends.
On what?
On the structural integrity of your teeth. That blade.
It's a troll for gardening.
It is. Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea.
干嘛大家都不说？
An item from Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some special significance for her.
Why's that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You two are friends, right?
We are, yes.
But
It is clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my company.
is it anything to do with Freya?
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands.
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues. Now, this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah, you could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate. I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh,
Who is this her to whom the message refers?
well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what.
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. Besides, I would have no use for such a thing. Perhaps it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
到底还差一个什么东西啊？我好不舒服哦。
There's something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
There's something about that diary we found in
哟，
Fifi's
怪怪的，怪怪的，怪怪的。
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
等一下，我刚刚在那里不说，然后跑来这里才跟我说啊，怪怪的。
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
吃东西。
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me
有
of?
讲跟没讲差不多，讲得很隐晦。谁讲得很隐晦？什么东西讲得很隐晦？你要啊？怎么哪里怪怪的？等一下，我不知道，我不知道，这不是你
It's
的。
not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine.
其实我不知道是哪
I
一个。
even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
嗯？Come on。Baby， 你说他讲这些东西吗？什么东西可以比较啊？
Let's take a closer look at this.
哦，电脑烂掉了，还是因为下载太多东西了啊！我有个超满了。干嘛？
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the
其实我
story.
根本不知道，
I was busy working
我
on
随便猜了。
a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday.
哦，好可爱哦。
The final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Nah,
在
well,
吃啥？
I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
好吃。这是章鱼烧。然后我们要去问菲菲。好，先问他。Hello， 姐姐，姐姐，你要不要说话了？姐姐，姐姐，我的游戏挡掉了，姐姐。
So, this painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
我真的不知
It's
道。
not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is. Let's take a closer look at this.
"来自沼泽怪物。
The painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink-dip bird.
It's definitely the right shape, but the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink-dip bird is red and white too?
墨姬鸟，墨姬鸟 ，white and red，white and red， 里面有 white and red 啊，这个，我刚刚说他一定要用 red and white。
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it,
Flora
why
很
would
喜
Flora be
欢
holding a feather in the
墨姬
painting
鸟。
anyway?
因为 Felix 说他要送他的东西是，就是他要让 Flora 身边充满了他喜欢的东西，所以他 Flora 应该是很喜欢墨居鸟吧，好可爱哦，是 Penny 的宠物，所以所以他吃了。哦，是他的宠物吗？ 哦，我的滑鼠只按2下啊。好，给他的朋友看。这个吗？墨姬鸟是 Penny， Penny 有养墨姬鸟，所以他留了一根羽毛，好给他的朋友看，是这个意思吗？
The ink
哦，不对，不对，不对。
was Penny's pet, so she kept a single feather to show her friends. Nope.
啊，墨姬鸟跟 Flora 之间有什么关系？是他的宠物吗？
The ink dip
啊，
was Flora's pet, so she kept a single
什么叫
feather.
所以他养了一根羽毛？
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
这个翻译。
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather. I think it was pretty important to her.
All right. So she was
她养了
holding
一
the
根羽
feather
毛。
while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
放羽毛。蛋吗？
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty.
你要说话了吗？
Flora?
没有吗？
She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not.
翻译错误，没错，翻译错误，养了一根羽毛啊。
Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
养了一根羽毛。啊，好可爱哦，好可爱的。哦，好可爱哦。哦，好可爱哦，怎么可爱？好可爱哦。所以我们又多了一个证据，还是什么 clue？ 可爱的话，然后嘞要去问，哎，等一下。
I like these drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them?
他的鸟鸟飞走了。
These drawings are quite precious. I'm surprised Flora let you see them.
What happened to the bird? Did it die?
I don't know. Seems likely, though, doesn't it?
再来是你，然后我们再去处理右半边的人。先来问这个。
Freya drew these,
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
but she never showed them to me.
Well, I think it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation. Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10
So, there are secrets written in here?
and this particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the
哦，
diary.
真的哦。
Something to prove who the original owner was.
可是我怎么知道他是谁的？日剧哦。啊，这个，这里。
Let's take a closer look at this.
"不知道什么啦。
This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
为什么？哦，不想让任何人看到他的秘密吗？
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets kept in her bedroom. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something...
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
Might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
All right, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
他回来了，这次有实际的形体，是我吗？是我放出去的吗？也许我该把那幅画撕了。爆魂蟹有任何惊人的小东西，我现在有2个了，还需要2个。好，找到了通往中间的路，和竖琴比起来意外的简单。我看到他们了，共5个，眼睛涂黑了。不管发生什么事，我仍然有一个诺言要遵守，我会尽力的。他需要一些陪伴。光小，爆魂蟹什么东西？听起来很像魔幻 RPG 里面会有的怪。然后有没有遇到他？通往中间的路，所以该不会？哎呀，这里。Hello.
Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
他是不是在等他的鸟鸟回来
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. 314 cases solved.
314?
14. Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective.
Signs.
I'll say this.
Give
is
me
well suited
a
to physical
sign.
labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse, but I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers in secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Professor Pointer's a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse. Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even.
哎，他有
if she
5只，
wanted to.
1、2、3、4、
I should probably have
那
to
5
leave
只手
Tangle
指头
Tower
了，
first.
你看他9、4只。
Quite. Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Huh. I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that.
有
I was
吧？
disappointed too.
还是没有？
You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my
所以
style.
他的眼
I like
睛
seeing
是，
everything
等一下，如果他
laid
有
out
睁
at
开眼
once.
睛，
Yeah,
他
it
眼
helps
睛
me
永远是
think.
白的，
How quaint.
他的眼睛就是这样。那如果他没有睁开眼睛，那他就是闭着眼睛。我不知道，你可以问他。
Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no then.
说不定他没有睁开眼睛。
Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried.
但我一直以为他的眼睛中间是白的。
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps? Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No. The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told?
他很凶哎、
Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking.
Every avenue of thinking。他是说 avenue 吗？
A somewhat cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you
有啦
like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
I believe that was in Flora's room
纯
yesterday,
粹那种
but
好
it was
笑。
not cracked when I saw it last. Paints?
Yep.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
You got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are
Avenue
we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
Avenue 是什么意思？
I'd tell him not to quit his day job, but he hasn't got one, has he? I admit, it's powerful.
看到了，
Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. A photograph of Freya. Could be important.
他头发好像盆栽哦。
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking.
还是
She must
啊
have
不是
done
不是
it，without my
他好像
permission.
刚刚
Could just
戴
be
一
from
个
memory. It's not
那个
quite
什
as
么
detailed as the others
那个叫
anyway.
什么渔夫帽还是什么？钓鱼的人会戴的
A
帽
book
子。
from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that. A diary. Have you read it?
我
Not
忘了
yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating. This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope
Avenue
for
大
up-close
街，
investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client.
渔夫帽，不错。
The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible
Avenue,
purpose other than
Avenue，他刚刚
financial
说什么
gain?
？Avenue，
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stones straight from the earth?
再听一次，再听一次，是吗？
Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I
You
can't.
didn't see a knife anywhere.
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking.
Every avenue of thinking.
This is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around. Some breed of amphibious humanoid, potentially bipedal, although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
Buggy.
Some breed of amphibious humanoid, potentially bipedal, although none of the statues show the
Man.
creature's feet.
我没有展示出这种动物脚，Buggy 大家都不知道 Buggy 的脚长什么样子。
I guess we'll never know.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange.
他很喜欢，他真的很喜欢藏一些就是前作的梗在里面。
Is that a clue?
Don't know. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree doesn't make it a clue.
Same? Yeah?
Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Oh, not yet. Did you see some suspicious leaves?
One of 3 statues depicting the same creature. This one is wearing headphones. Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs for blocking out sound.
Ear
Perhaps
mask
they belong to someone who doesn't like music.
是吗？是 mask 吗？
Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them. 3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would. These people really are ridiculous, aren't they? Don't you consider that important evidence, do you? What is that?
I'm not sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double-check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see.
画完了。还有没有人怪怪的？你赶快跟我说哦，要不然我走了，你不要再叫我回来哦。人啊，这样很可怕。换你了。
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone. Felix is a
我
contradiction.
喜欢他的
His
声音
loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
我喜欢他的声音。
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know. She questioned me,
About what?
my work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell. She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working, sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see.
为什么他们家人是不是都不善交际啊？
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good. Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong? Nice painting. Gives you a pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It might seem strange to you, but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric forms.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Let's call it an informed estimation. Who gave you that information?
Well...
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
I see. And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. How odd. There's something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
I don't know. It does look like a knife, but Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her after the murder. But there's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this position.
Well, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all. She was kneeling on the floor. That belongs to Poppy.
So, why is it up in Flora's tower?
I'm not sure. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. Paints are different to flowers.
I'd say so, yeah.
At any time, flowers can bloom with perfect, faultless colors. Red, blue, white. With paint, once you've tainted a color by mixing it with others, not even the most skilled painter can return it to its pure form. It's an egg with feet.
It was locked, but we opened it, but it was empty.
Fun story. That's quite sweet, really. Felix made that? Huh. Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting.
Huh?
It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you, in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done? Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried, in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks. Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where we found it.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her. This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony.
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny, inedible fruit?
You look at it.
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah.
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
What's with the broken glass?
Any idea who this is?
No idea. Poppy's piano music. I remember when she started learning. She's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Right. Of course.
We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone.
哎，等一下，我看到一个东西。
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
等一下啦。
A little chart of, actually, I have no idea what it's about.
我看过这吗？好像有哦，只是看不懂。猫蛋蛋，我记得猫蛋蛋，好，没事。
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
继续。他眼睛会发亮，为什么？
Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. That's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they like her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not. Those petals, they,
What?
they're red. A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to. I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3.
猫猫眼睛发光
Sorry. I thought you said me too.
啊？他说什么？
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3.
哦，
Oh. Sorry. I thought you said me too.
好烂哦！这是我们小时候才会讲的那种烂笑话。Me too, me too。
Did Freya draw these?
Yeah. There's a note on the back too.
She was even closer to Flora than I realized.
然后他说 Hawkshot 有问题，走找 Hawkshot。Hello。
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense.
哎，不对啊，
If you
那
knew
不
what
是
my client had asked
望
me
远
to
镜吗？
find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry. We already worked out what you're searching for.
啊，他在找什么？我不知道啊。是吗？
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
哎，所以是真的
So,
哦。
that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
是对啊，他不是显微
It's
镜
not a
啊。
microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on
不
microscopes.
行啊。什么？按菲菲所说，所以他是凶器。
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw
这个图好可
lied
爱 哦
about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to
为
become?
什么要吃我的脚？
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me, and so I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
什么窃案？什么
Things have
鬼？
become complicated.
他搞什么
My
什么？
lead suspect is your murder victim.
所以他叫什么 ？Percival 叫他来找虫虫，他的虫虫不见了。对，然后嘞，我们要处理右边的人。他是不是问过了？这个音乐每次都会吓到我。这个。
Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. How sweet.
又没了。然后嘞，就剩他们两个了。Hello.
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope, you'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
两个
Yes, it's
有
my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar. Is that for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad.
好吧。
There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower.
事实上，
Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
可不可以早点说？
There's something about those petals.
又
we
来
found
了！
beneath
我刚离开那里，你才跟我说他怪怪的。
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower. Holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
对啊，跑来跑去。
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
吧。
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to
Sentimental.
take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
我记得以前要背这个字的时候，老师就说你就记山东馒头 ，sentimental。突然我不知道山东馒头跟 sentimental 之间有什么关联。买什么？照顾吧，我猜。是用来照顾这个吗？
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. something that proves its connection to Fitz.
Sentimental. 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 啊？怎么了？他现在又要我干嘛？哦，我不知道哎，这个我真的不知道哎。与佩妮房间里盆栽花比较的东西，我们要比什么东西？火烛盆栽，忘掉了。
Let's take a closer look at these.
应该是土吧，我猜。混合，这盆在哪？这盆这个吧。
The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse. Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again, when she's not there. Water the flower, change the soil, just trying to keep it alive.
他把它种的要跟它长得一模一样。好酷哦，好酷哦。然后嘞？等，让我看看你长什么样子。哇，还真的一样。
So, yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from red roses, and there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to.
Are red. 你要在哪里呢？有红玫瑰的证据。哪一个啊？这个吗？
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those two bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident ornithologist.
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
他该不会叫鸟鸟飞进去吧？叫鸟鸟飞进去拿。用来监视。你从他那里偷钱，这个吧。
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect
抓
Fitz of
奸
anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage.
Tabitha.
She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to prove one of them has been in the rooftop garden.
Tabitha. 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 这个吧 Tabitha.
Let's take a closer look at these.
Tabitha 是谁？等一下，他吗？他是 Tabitha 吗？被吃了。来自于
This yellow feather was left behind by
But that-
Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
I can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me.
Tabitha。
I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry,
聪明娘
Penny,
娘。
but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days. But being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
好吧，剩他了。
A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. Comes from a dysfunctional family. I'd say you could ask her about it, but I
不是啊
think，you
他
might
们
find that
是
to be
未
a bit
婚
of a
夫
dead
妻
end.
耶，你有没有认真看？你看，你看，等一下哦。
Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
他没讲啊，好吧，他这里没有说，但是反正他有说过啦，你要记得啊。哎呀，他好在看什么啊？操！
He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends. Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her. Dangerously intelligent, that one.
You sound jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally. Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you. Nobody could deny her talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her. but I think she was captivated by more tangible things here on Earth. My daughter loved her. Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more and more I begun to notice her by herself, wandering the gardens at the most peculiar hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100 times over. Quite a restless spirit, I think. I'm surprised she chose to live at Tangle Tower as long as she did. What do you want me to say? He's the gardener.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live
直
here
接说
anymore.
人家是怪
What
人。
about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived. I don't especially want to talk about myself. Introspection often leads to vanity.
Wait, does it?
Why don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter instead?
I'm not sure if we have time. Aren't there like 10 of them?
83.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time, until she marries the gardener.
She'll still be your niece.
But she'll
Niece
depart
and
from the
nephew.
world of the Pointers
Hello,
and join
niece and
the
nephew.
Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking
It's
ship.
Uncle Roger.
My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Because she's a suspect.
Oh no, I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth. The playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away. She went away.
怎么大家都跑了？
So which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are two towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade.
Flora，等一下，所以 Flora 到底是……啊，算了，再说。
Not exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough.
A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is. Isn't the process of decay fascinating?
It's not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same. Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar. Here's a thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush could be the murder weapon? After all, it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's
他那
body.
样子那笔一定很
Yes,
硬，
it's possible.
超硬，就是那洗完
I
然
find
后
that painting to be
放
in
了
rather
很久那种
bad
毛
taste.
笔哦，
Oh,
然
yeah?
后就会硬
A
掉。
knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar. Pointer property originally, purloined by the Fellows. Typical. I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends. Is this important?
Possibly.
Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she keeps in there?
Nothing. At the moment. It was empty when we opened it.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know. This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
Poppy's two closest friends. Freya looked so innocent there.
Okay.
These were drawn by Freya. She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put. A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary. What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
干嘛大家都不说？
Oh my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother?
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her wall. I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue. I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears?
Whenever I've seen him, yes.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But then, aren't we all trapped in a cage? Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either. What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
What's this? Is it a clue?
We don't actually know. But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's? It's been a while since I've seen it.
他挥走了。
There's something about Pointer's astronomy habits. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
终于， 我解了2个成就，终于没有在我离开的时候再跟我说他怪怪的，还是因为不能在人家面前说他怪怪的，所以他们都走了之后才跟我说他怪怪的。
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
他根本不是在看天空，不是吗？
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
哦，有东西解开了。
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
是啊，感觉 Freya 可能是发现了什么秘密之类的。
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed
Garden.
something.
这是什么？
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
它当掉了。哦，有了。这是我的新朋友，他喜欢音乐，简单的旋律会撼动他的灵魂。祝你们2位好运 ，Freya。什么 Freya？ 为什么是 Freya？ 是什么啦？好恶心哦！
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
What?
Good idea. Hold on.
啊，我玩到了。
Well,
It's a perfect match.
we have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it...
好了，我玩到。Maybe we can 虾米玩不在未完的事物。所以这个要怎么办？
I'm still not sure about this thing.
Should we take another look?
这个是要干嘛？铃铛、嘴巴、钢琴鸟鸟。
Let's come back later.
铃铛，铃铛是什么鬼？哪里有铃铛？要当掉，也不是当掉，就是很慢。肚子好饿，好想再吃别的东西哦。你快点！犯罪现场。
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think?
妈妈饿
Was
了。
Freya stabbed
Mama
by her
ya.
own painting?
等一下，等我一下，等一下。Freya 是被刀刺杀的吗？为什么画上有血？万魔物的黄色尖端，这既然替换成了。 啊？干嘛？
Paint from the paint pot was replaced by blood from the paint pot to distract Freya. Nope.
血是从哪来的？它是怎么用来？点点点点点。
Blood from the paint pot was designed to match the painted ink dip feather to distract Freya. That's not right.
乱写，等一下，等一下，这是需要自己把血涂在画上。
Blood from the paint pot was designed to match the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
啊啊
Almost.
啊！
Maybe just change one thing.
这吗？
The painted ink dip feather was
哎，我
designed to
不知道
match
哎。
a real knife to resemble a bloody knife. That's not
他
right
刚刚
either.
说差一个。
Blood from the paint pot was designed to match the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
什么叫做用来画某物的红色尖端？那东西是
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question.
什么意思啊？
Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle.
出过一个吗？
That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with the painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Cool. 他刚刚说什么没看到？说一下干嘛？你在干嘛？我们在湖边听到某种旋律了吗？湖边？对吗？鸟鸣。哦，所以要给他听声音，然后他就会排出形状。OK， 我也那么快啊？对啊，就从他的饲料袋里面挖一匙，然后倒到他的碗里，这样就好啦。没有啦，我叫他自己去吃啦。我刚刚说你在那里，你自己开，自己吃。还有哪里有声音？门口吗？门口好像有这个吗？噔噔噔，哎，那是什么？噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔噔。好，我们又有一个了。另外一个是什么？嘴巴跟钢琴，嘴巴跟钢琴，嘴巴跟钢琴要去哪里找？钢琴吗？钢琴吗？嘴巴是什么啊？嘴巴是要谁唱歌吗？有谁唱歌吗
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Huh? 没有。哎，有了。 钢琴。那嘴巴是什么？嘴巴是什么？那嘴巴是什么 ？Poppy 怎么了 ？Poppy 是弹钢琴啊。那嘴巴是谁啊？谁会唱歌？谁会唱歌吗？还是这个啊 ？Flora 根本不会讲话。他不讲话，那也算是一种不讲话，一种声音吗？所以我们要逼他讲话吗？真假的？好的，我们去找 Flora 看看。讲话哦，我原本还想说是谁要唱歌。好慢啊！我要怎么样让他讲话？没有东西可以让他讲话。还是听看。突然说，妈的！
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
是不是解谜大师？快点叫我解谜大师！
That's all 4 melodies, I think.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the gardens again?
我想吃东西，我好饿。
Let's try this again.
哎呀，
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now.
他有在旁边是不是？可能我记不起来。收集。这样对吧？
That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
没吃晚餐，没吃。因为我回家之后还很饱。
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
哇哦！结果居然是下面还有一个空间，地下秘密。You， 你觉得我们要断在这里吗？我们礼拜天再来看。我觉得这里是一个不错的断点。怎么样？其实我还不知道它到底后面有多长，但我觉得既然都已经把密室打开了，那后面应该也不会太长。我猜啦，后面应该就是密室探索完嘛，然后可能再多拿些东西，然后可能问问别人，然后最后 要找谁是真凶这样子，然后应该就这样吧。那我们礼拜天再把它整个破完，怎么样？不错吧？好哦，好哦。我发现聊天室跟那个会打架，它会撞到那个地图的那个标识。往上移一点。好，那今天先玩到这里。可，为什么要打那样？为什么可以打成那样？好，我先把游戏关掉。游戏，停起来。我们再放个音乐好了。我把刚刚那个关掉。刚刚那个嘞？等一下哦。有了。好了，而且他在聊天室上面居然还显示得出来，有个那个圈圈壳。我觉得这游戏还不错虽然不知道好像有点长，还是我自己太没耐心了，所以才会觉得它很长。但我觉得它还不错，而且它那个它很有心，它都会偷藏一些前作的一些东西在里面，还有一些就是它也会偷藏，像一个前作，它有偷藏一个续作的算是小彩蛋嘛。我觉得那时候在他的前作里面有，就是那时候不是要翻那个，像是爆雷啊，会不会爆雷？比上一个长很多，对，长很多。因为上一个好像原本是一个手机游戏之类的，还是我不知道，反正他有出手机游戏，然后还是什么的，我不知道他是先有手机游戏，还是先是一个就是 PC 的游戏，但我记得好像应该先是手机游戏，所以它才会那么短。然后他其实在他那个游戏之前，他还有一个也是叫做 Detective Grima 的游戏， 但是是网页游戏，它是一个 Flash 的游戏，然后也是玩法也是像这样，就是有各个场景，然后每个场景里面可能会有一个人，然后你就是找场景里面的线索，然后你可以问那些人那些线索，然后也可以问那些人物之间的关系，这样，然后也是有关谋杀案件这样子，然后要去解决。然后像他不是前作一开始进去的时候会遇到一个小女孩吗？不管了，我要爆雷了，我要爆雷了。不想听的可以现在就拜拜这样。就是你前作不是一进去那个 Buggy Spark 的时候，就是在门口遇到一个小女孩吗？然后他那时候有一个选项是 You're the weird girl from the fairground， 然后那个 fairground 就是那个他那个前作就是那个网页游戏的一个角色，它里面也有一个奇怪的小女孩，所以他那个对话选项里面有一个是说 You're the weird girl from the fairground。那因为他那个网页游戏的那个地点就是在一个 fairground， 然后你一开始也是会遇到一个奇怪的小女孩。我前几天在查有关他的这个游戏的一些资料，然后我还顺便去玩了一下他的那个游戏。其实也不短欸，以一个网页游戏来讲，它也是剧情满满，也不是剧情满满，就是它的对话也蛮多的，然后也是只有英文。它是从这一代开始才有中文的，所以我觉得他制作也是很有心啊，要偷藏一些小彩蛋在里面。这应该说也是有关联啊，让它变得比较有关联，让它变得就是你可以让前后两个作品 connect 在一起。就是这样的。好啦，我也肚子有点饿了，我想去吃点东西。今天还有什么话要说吗？还是我们又要再来介绍一个 phrase？ 可是我们每一次开台就来介绍一个 phrase。不是啊，我们今天学到了 every avenue of thinking。我把它打在上面。哎呀，棒，很棒，没错，棒，真棒。棒棒 Avenue of thinking 这是什么用法？怎么没有字？下一个字。Avenue 怎么拼啊？ 看一下哦，我看一下要怎么摆。我来个今日phrase 吗 ？phrase 怎么拼？啊，意思是什么？意思是什么？就是它就是一个，它这个有什么这个吗？思考这中文要怎么讲？这个中文要怎么说？这个的中文是什么？思考方式，他刚刚怎么翻？每一种思维，所以这应该是什么意思？他说要他的那个动词是什么 ？Every avenue of thinking，explore 吗？还是什么？我忘了。所以这东西应该要怎么翻译？还是就是一种思维的感觉吗？可以这样翻吗？要变成英文教学台了，但我英文明明就很烂。有没有英文烂到就连韩国姐姐都不愿意跟我说话了？不是，等一下，但是要在这里澄清，虽然一直说她是韩国姐姐，但她其实不是韩国人，她是一个在加拿大的一个算是中国人的一个实况组，但是因为她长得很像韩国人，所以我都一直叫她韩国姐姐。好，翻译课没错，不是哦，到底要怎么翻？我翻成这样一种思维是对的吗？他刚刚也是这样翻啊，他说要去用不同种思维去思考。怎样，小猫你也想学习英文吗？希望我们以后开台每次都可以学到一个新的 phrase。猫咪尾巴在干嘛啦？哦，站在这里干嘛啦？好啦，那今天就这样啦。我们也学到了一个新的英文的用法。然后我们的 Tangle Tower 也快要结束了。我上次说 Tangle Tower 玩完的话，就是玩这个叫啥？ 不知道跑不跑得动，虽然那是不知道2000几年的游戏了。唉，好啦，那今天就这样吧。所以呢，最后呢，大家记得追随 YouTube 吧，记得订阅。你有没有订阅啊 ？Facebook 按赞。好啦，感谢今天收看的朋友。然后每个礼拜5跟礼拜天晚上会开台，记得来看。我们下次再见，拜拜。